Hey, what's going on? You know, when you're stuck in the field and you're in the S3, you can either read a map, make some coffee, or you can go on a 48-hour killing spree. It's Vito Bertoldo, and today's Motivated Moments and History. Vito Bertoldo was born in Decatur, Illinois in 1916. Not too much is known about his life prior to joining the military, nor his service prior to World War II. But that's okay. The balls this guy slung on July 9, 1945 is more than enough to talk about. The place, Hatton, France. Master Sergeant Bertoldo was manning a machine gun at his command post, which belonged to the 242nd Infantry Regiment. News of the fast advancing and numerically superior German force hit the radios, and it was time to chalk up the deuces and bounce out that bitch. The Nazi force just ran straight through the 242nd's main line and was blazing a trail right towards their top. So while everyone was packing the shit up and getting ready to head out, he grabbed his machine gun, went to the middle of the street, and waited for those Nazis to show up and present themselves as offerings to the lustful lead slinger, Vito R. motherfucking Bertoldo! When they finally peeked over the horizon, Vito strapped on his helmet, threw in a chew, and begun to slay some motherfucking bodies! Vito fought in that position for 12 hours, driving back attacks in full view of the enemy and being bombarded by 88mm tank rounds, as well as machine gun and small arms fire. Under the heavy fire and having a chance to move, he grabbed his machine gun and ran back inside the command post. There he strapped the machine gun to a table and, like a lunch lady, served all the good little boys and girls at a Nazi party a healthy dose of death and motherfucking devastation. While firing through a window, a tank approached him at 75 meters away and shot at him, blasting the room and sending him across the room. He got up, ran back to his machine gun, and made sure that sorry bastard wouldn't be alive to try some punk shit like that again. Then a tank and 2 armored personnel carriers rolled up right outside the top. The troops started to dismount, and the tank began firing at him in an attempt to provide firing support for those advancing troops, right? Despite the heavy blast and something seemingly Satan being rained down upon him, he leaned out that window, jerked that weapon, and spunked some bullets all over those dismounted dorks, killing every one of them. A few hours later, the command post moved to a building right next to where they just were. Vito stayed there so he can cover their withdrawal. He manned the position all night. The next morning, he moved his position to an adjacent building, which was being used as a talk for a different battalion. There, he started his day-long defense, what was now known as Vito Bertoldo's big giant field of dead bodies. He broke up a combined attack consisting of armored vehicles and dismounted personnel. Once the German tank even rolled up to where he was at, placed its tube inside the freaking window and blasted that sumbitch, launching Vito back across the room a second time. But thankfully, an American bazooka team crept up on that bitch, shot it, and set the sumbitch on fire. With the fire raging and already concussed, Vito gave no shits, ran back to his machine gun, and mowed down those retreating German fucktards. So it's nighttime again. The TOC crew started their move to their predetermined position way the hell away from there. But before any of the U.S. units could get to their trucks, the Germans launched an all-out assault with dismounts, heavy machine gun fire, tank and artillery fire as well. And Vito could have run, but he looked up at the night sky and saw glorious Uncle Sam. And with that, he found the motivation to remain at his post and throw some motherfucking white phosphorus grenades at those advancing dismounts. Well, the dismounts ran away because, no one likes being melted to death. And as they fled, he started shooting at them. Another tank got up less than 50 meters away from him and blasted his spot again, destroying the machine gun and sending him across the room a third freaking time. It's like this guy's primary mode of transportation is being thrown across the room via tank. The Germans figured that the third time was a charm, but man, they were wrong. Vito grabbed his rifle and started peeling some freaking caps back. He shot at those sons of bitches till everyone in his post was ready to retreat. He joined the convoy and they all went to their new location. When it was all said and done, this dude killed more than 40 Germans by himself, wounded a shitload more, and completely wiped his nuts all over those Kraut douchebags for over 48 hours. 48 hours! That's like 2 staff duty shifts. But instead of answering phones and taking out trash and being depressed, you're killing everything you see. For his heroics, he was awarded the Medal of Honor. And you think he might have gotten a promotion out of this, right? But the Green Weenie knows no bounds in its unforgiving attacks on the rectums of many. He died in 1966 and is buried at the Golden Gate National Cemetery in San Bruno, California. And that, kids, is your Motivated Moments in History!